Hey guys, it's Walt, Dirtfoot Racing. Gonna take you through a journey today to do something I technically have never done before. I have what is simply called a seriously flat tire on the 24-hour bike. And if you haven't seen any of the videos on the 24-hour bike, we built this using a MD80 frame. You can see that basic shape is the 80 frame that we cut everything off of and added everything onto. So there's more, there's build videos on that on the Dirtfoot Racing website. And of course we're running a 212 turn vertical, which all that's covered in there too. And of course somebody didn't tell me that they crashed the bike. Interesting. I know what that's from, excuse me, it's not a crash. Oh, what the? Oh dear, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Anyways, I'll have to fix that also. But today we are going to put a inner tube in this bike here, rear, and I'm going to take you through that journey, and this will be my first time doing it. So I have some tools laid out here. I do have a set of spoons for taking the tire off a little more safer. I'm not worried about the inner tube in there, but putting the new one in, that makes it a little more better. So hang out here for a little bit. I'm going to take this wheel off, and then we'll get to putting the inner tube in. I'm back. Had to take a little break from the tube installation. This cart, this seat that came from Uline, the center section where it breaks down to pack it up in the box, the screws fell out, so it was collapsing. So I had to take a break here and go weld it all up. So, well, those birds are happy. They like it too. But anyways, yeah, if you got one of these things and that happens, that might be a way to fix it. So, back to the inner tube installation. Okay, let's get back at it here after fixing the cart. Those are birds in the background. They are extremely happy on this extremely nice day here. So, what happens with this is you have to get this outside of here. These guys really help a lot. I think I bought these from Dennis Kirk. That's an online retailer, sells all kinds of motorcycle parts, ATV parts, tools. These come in really handy, and when you're dealing with a good inner tube, they can a lot of times prevent you from tearing up your good inner tube if you're just using regular old screwdrivers. Actually larger than that, but so what we have to do is we've got to get this outside of here on both sides. And this tube, normally you'd go ahead and pull the valve stem out, but I think this one's ripped instead of just with a small hole because there's zero air in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to push down here and make sure that this part of the tube is not still on the rim like it was mounted, and basically just get underneath that, pry it up, and you go down a little further, pry it up, and then you pull this one out. Sometimes you might have to have 3 of these. Just leave that one in. Then you come down here a little further, pry that one up, and you kind of get the idea. You keep working your way around until you get it all the way off. I mean, I have changed bicycle tires. You know, I grew up in a time when, way back when you actually fixed your own bicycles. Oh, I grew up in a time when kids rode bicycles. But nevertheless, so one side is off. That was really easy. That was not hard at all. So it's completely free. So now what we've got to do is we've got to get the other side to do the same thing. I was right about the inner tube. Here's the stem. The stem is completely broken off of the inner tube itself. I have a sneaking suspicion that someone was riding this and the air pressure in the tire was low and they didn't know it, and the tire spun on the rim and tore it right off. Tore that stem right off the inner tube. So now we've kind of got to do the same thing again and get this side off that way. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm not too concerned about the old inner tube, which it is in here, because there's nothing we can do with it. We're not patching it or anything like that. So I'm going to take that spoon and I'm going to stick it in there like that. And I'm going to take the other spoon and I'm going to get it over that edge and work this thing this way. Sometimes when you start to get these to come off, you can just push them off. You can manhandle the tube off, the tire off, and it looks like that's going to happen this time. So there we go. One inner tube, or one rim, one tire, which still looks to be okay, and one inner tube where the valve stem was completely tore out. And I guarantee you that's what happened. It just got used with low air and it just tore the valve stem completely off the inner tube. So now I gotta get this inner tube off, this valve stem off, which shouldn't be too hard. Spoke too soon. Unscrew the nut that holds it in place. These are the original tires that came with the wheels when I bought them off of, it was either eBay or Amazon. When we built the 24-hour bike, basically I bought pit bike parts, front wheel assembly, rear wheel assembly, front forks, and used them to create the frame. So now what I gotta do is I gotta get this like protective rubber part back over these nuts for the spokes. There's not much. They sure didn't give a whole lot of protective strap in there for those bolts. And it looks, oh, that thing is flipped over. So whoever put this together didn't even pay that. Oh, see, I was right. This thing is spun inside there, because here's the opening that you normally have for the valve stem, and it's not even near the valve stem. So I'm going to peel this off and put it back on in the right position. I probably, you know what, I really should have a better protective strip of material in here, because these are sharp on the ends. Wow, these are real sharp. And what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go over these with some type of paper or something, knock the sharpness off. Because if that gets to the inner tube, it's going to tear a hole in that inner tube. Or I might see if I can, let's see here. No, it might be too big. I'm thinking about cutting a piece out of this inner tube and creating my own band in here. I might do that too. So, but first I'm going to sand these off with a little bit of emery paper, get the sharp edges off. When they assemble these wheels, they must use a powered tool to tighten these up, and they turned up an edge on along each top of each one of these. So let me go get some emery paper and I will be right back. All right, went and got some emery paper. Let's take off some of the sharp edges on these top of these bolts. That's a little better. Yeah. When I bought the inner tubes, I didn't purposely buy a new protective band. Sometimes inner tubes come with it, but these did not, so we will make do with what we have. Another idea, might even take some good old-fashioned duct tape and wrap that inside there. I can't believe they the packet like that. At least not with something more protective over the sharp edges of the screws for the spokes. Yeah, bird agrees with me too. Yeah. It could have been one of those that got to it too. All right. I just don't think this is going to do much in that respect. It does a little, but it don't do a whole lot. I think the sanding did more than anything. Just don't think this is not tight enough to really make any difference. Yeah, kind of loose fitting. I'm gonna put the original one back on for now. Hopefully my my sanding will help prevent that from having any more issues. So that right there. Birds are happy. It's a nice day today. I guess we'll call it a Florida spring day. It's not too hot. It's not cold. I call it Chamber of Commerce weather. That's what brings everybody down here. Unfortunately, they don't bring very good. Oh, I can start a rant. They need to bring some better driving skills, most of you folks that come down to visit the Florida. But anyways, so got that band back on. So now we need to find to grab an air tube. Put you right here. Oh, look at that. Give us some new caps. Now, inner tubes. It was very common to buy two in a box. I don't know, they don't sell one at a time, I guess. Well, you almost pay what you pay for one to get two, so I went ahead and got two. So, plus they give you some new screws and some new caps. And some instructions. Look at that. Installation tips. Careful, check inside, clean all thorns and splinters and sands. Please use a tire pry bar. Do not use any sharp tools such as screwdriver to replace tire and inner tube. Anyways, about overpressure and all that stuff. Well, inner tube is air filled by manufacturer 48 hours to ensure good air tightness. So they said they filled that up for 48 hours. Okay, sure. All right, so what we got here. What we got here is another brand new nut that's gonna secure that to the wheel. So let's slide this in here and put that new nut on. See if we can get that in there. This kind of stuff is never easy, especially try to record it at the same time. But got to screw that nut onto the valve stem. Let's see here. There we go. Got it going. All right, got that in place. So now we can pull this inner tube over the wow, it's a tight fit. Don't leave no extra rubber, that's for sure. Well, folks, it looks like the reason it's so tight is because I bought the wrong thing. All right, so unfortunately, I bought a 10-inch inner tube when I need a 12-inch one. I don't know how I made that mistake. but this is not going to work as you see it. So I got to go back to plan Z, plan B, and get a different inner tube. Hate it when that happens. That shouldn't have been on there that tight. That's what's kind of a hint. But now that I have the whole bike apart, this really is a pain in the buttski. Now I've got to, right now, go in and order another inner tube and get it here as fast as I can. So the 24-hour bike is not disassembled for a long time. Well, I'm not going to bore you with all that. I don't know how I ordered the wrong thing. I swear I knew better, but guess I didn't. And I got myself a couple of 10-inch inner tubes. So I'm sure at some point I'll find a use for them. I guess we'll chalk that one up to probably being, when I order these, I was probably doing 5 things at one time, and just pushed the wrong button. I made a wrong choice, so it happens, no worries, not the end of the world. It wasn't crazy expensive. So we're gonna conclude this part of part 1. I was only gonna have part 1, but now it looks like we're gonna have 2 parts. Part 1 of the 24-hour bike rear tire inner tube repair. If you like this kind of stuff, like, share, subscribe. Otherwise, in the comments, leave me some suggestions on how this doesn't happen again. Anyways, Walt Dirtfoot Racing, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later.